Welcome to the Australian High Performance Pit Area this weekend. It's practice day, so we're just trying to figure out how we're best going to set up for race day. Here we have our computer area where we'll have our video feedback when the riders come through, and right over here we'll have our physiotherapy. So if anything last minute for the rider's body needs to be worked on, it's all there in place. And then in the back corner we've got our nutrition area, and then at the front we've got our bike stand and also our mechanic.
I think BMX is so unpredictable that just making sure I got this good team behind me. Between all the Australian riders that are here, we've got about 7 staff. Generally I run a bike from the start of the season right through to after the World Championships, and then get a new bike after the World Championships. Always before a new event too, I always put fresh pedals on my bike, fresh tyres, fresh grips, fresh everything. Steve-O's just putting zip ties on my pedals. Basically I've tried a whole bunch of brands of different pedals over the years, and I've just come back to these plastic ones, the Shimano's, which are a bit lighter. And yeah, I guess a little trick of the trade, putting zip ties on them, which helps with eliminating that float and just making your clip in harder and eliminate that chance of unclipping. My transponder, just making sure it goes on. The Latvian at the last World Cup, he didn't have his on for the time trial and he got disqualified, so yeah, making sure I remember this guy. I definitely trust Steve-O well. He works with the whole Australian High Performance program and hand the bike over, and that's one less thing which at a race I need to stress on, that I'm not going to have a mechanical. Normally at a race, even though we've got a mechanic and everything, I always like to make sure that I've got all my tools, I've got little bits and pieces, I've always got a spare tube, and making sure I've got the essentials so worst happens at a race. Yeah, I've got it covered and don't need to rely on anyone. Yeah, my dad, I think, at the age of 9 when I started travelling my first World Championships in Paris, he taught me how to pack my own bike, take all my own tools, and yeah, got me going on the world of travelling and looking after myself.
We're basically covering everything for the practice session, but also really preparing for tomorrow and getting the setup right, so all the athletes can have a great session.
When we're at major events, we get obviously like our accreditation passes to get us into the venue, and they're very tight on security. So behind the scenes there's the barcodes, you've got one on your bike, one on your wrist, and yeah, basically that gets your bike in and out, so bike theft isn't a worry at races. And just a lot of the protocol behind the scenes of what goes on at a World Championships and major races. Today with these long days at the races, recovery is key, so we've got practice in the morning, we've got the first time trial and then the super final later tonight. So with long days in between each rounds, we've got these recovery boots that the whole Australian team uses. It's just compression, so get back, spin your legs out, try and get as much lactic acid out as you can, sit down, rest, get some fuel in, and at the same time then whack these on. They're on a cycle, so they fill up with air, give you that compression, and you can monitor sort of what pressure you want it on and then how much of a rest you want. I just have it on the maximum amount of compression and the shortest rest. Generally, like at the moment, I probably only have them on for about sort of 5-10 minutes. I just really like it. It helps flush all that lactic acid out, gives you that compression and speeds up your recovery in between rounds.
We have a nutritionist back in Australia, so we have a lot of feedback early, so when we get here it's all pre-planned and the athletes know exactly what they need to do, and we're just supplying it so it's just ready and easy for them to come in, eat or drink as they need.
We've got some of the program food behind us. There's always bars and snacks and nuts, and one of my favourites is definitely rice cakes with avocado, so yeah, just clean this one out.
The athletes also have the individual consultation with the nutritionist, and they're covering the specific things that we need for the longer day or the shorter day sessions.
Just easy fuel. I don't like to have heavy carbs on race days, so rice or rice cakes, rice, sort of mixing that combination. I've got also a chicken salad as well that I'll mix the rice in and add my tuna. So yeah, just things that are light, but making sure that I do get the carbohydrates. I love bananas on race day too, so yeah, things that I can just snack on throughout the day. And with our fluid, we have water. We also have electrolytes, or we have the little hydrolyte sort of tabs as well, which we break and put into water. Try to limit my amount of sugar, but yeah, really watch that I am getting that fuel in and the carbohydrates and electrolytes.
During the race day, we focus more on the carbohydrate and just focus on that 30 to 50 grams per hour, and basically replacing electrolytes and nutrition things. But basically the pre and post is still very important. So their time in the kitchens at the hotel is where they got to prepare their meals for the night when they get back from training. So it's nice and easy and quickly done.
You've got to work on all the little 1% as an athlete, and leading into the Olympic Games, I was working on my power to weight ratio. So leading to the Olympics, I actually dropped about 8 kilos, and one of the things I did was, I'm not gluten intolerant, but I did go gluten free. So just, I think it's a bit of lifestyle choices, and I've just found that it sits a little bit lighter on my stomach on race day, and I just don't get that sluggish feeling when I used to have a big bowl of pasta and I just want to have a nap for a few hours afterwards. So no, just keeping a bit more consistent and not having as many highs and lows throughout the day, and not feeling like I want to sleep after I eat. We've got walkie-talkies around the place so we can communicate between all of the coaches and staff, and making sure the iPads are filming us riders, so when we get back we can double check what's on the iPads, go over that footage and know what we've got to do for the next lap. Yeah, it's a good little network between everyone just working together, and makes me perform at the end of the day.
It's an update on Caroline. She took a little tumble in that last race. We've had our physio check her all over. A little bit of scratches in there, a bit of soreness in the arm, a little bit of bike dramas, but that's all been taken care of.